What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, how's it going, bud?
It is going, man. Happy we had a chance to kind of do this because spare time is a rough a coming. Literally, I will see you a week from right now. You will be chilling with me.
Yeah,
Less than a week because you'll be here early as fuck at the
I mean, I'll
crack
be
ass of
here
dawn.
in a week from here, yeah. But I got
Yeah.
shit to do on that Wednesday. Like, I gotta go pick up my suit and all that shit. But, I mean, I'll probably go right when they open just to make sure they don't have to do alterations and shit. But,
But yeah, man, I'm excited as hell. And I can't wait. Can't wait for everybody to start making their way down and just celebrate me actually being a grown up for once and also making a smart move for once as well.
right.
And in the love category. So I'm excited as hell and can't wait.
When is her family coming down?
I think everybody for the most part will be here Wednesday, Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah. And then everybody and their mom's coming on Friday. So it'll be
But
me,
your
you,
wedding's late, right?
5:30. So yeah,
Yeah.
later in the day on Friday, yeah. But so me, you, Larissa, her maid of honor, and her husband will all be in the area Wednesday. And I'm also
Nice.
pretty sure I've just been kind of doing this by ear. I haven't asked yet, but wow, that sounds way better. But I'm pretty sure that Thursday will be free as long as we are back at a certain decent hour to go night night and wake up on Friday to do dude's wedding day to go watch my first NHL hockey game. So
I've actually
yeah.
never been to that arena either, so that would be pretty dope if we go there.
Oh, that's on Wednesday. No, that's on Thursday. It's
Yeah, that's on
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday night. And it's only literally whenever we leave there, it'll take us like 50 minutes to get
Nice.
back to hotel area. Yeah. So, I mean, that's nothing. It's just to get there by 8 o'clock, we're gonna have to leave by like 4:45 because that hour of traffic, you know,
Yo, this
old Cali
traffic's gonna
guy.
feel like nothing, bro. It's gonna be great.
You're like, wait, I get to go 35 miles in an hour?
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
That's literally the only reason I don't go watch every single LA any sport. I'm just like, ugh, I gotta pick and choose just for the sheer fact of getting there and shit. It's pretty
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, like when I took junior, we left at 5. I wanted to leave at 4:40 just so I could get like be at the front end of the traffic, not be the 5 o'clock traffic. 5 o'clock traffic coming from North Palm Beach to get down to South Palm Beach and Broward County area to I didn't want to be the last people coming from north. I
Right.
wanted to get towards south to north Miami by 5:15, which is about 30 minutes out. So the next 30-45 minutes is just traffic. Nah. I left 25 minutes after that at 5:05 and the game started at like 7:20. I pulled up in the parking lot at 7:10 and
Jeez.
yeah, on the way back it took us an hour and 3 minutes, my boy, to get back from the arena. So the traffic down here is real, but we have all the E and Sun passes you can have. So express lanes, 50 cents, and exit. I'm there.
Nice. Um, I thought when I was going to be down there that I was going to have to miss a playoff game for my rec league, but for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, they're giving us a full week off and the tournament doesn't start till the 20th. So I'll get to play in the first game, which is nice. They said that the first game is going to be the 12th, and I was like, motherfucker, that sucks. But nope, now it's the 20th, so that's exciting. We're playing a team. We did it. I don't know if you remember how the playoff things work, but they like split the divisions up, and the best teams go this way, and the worst teams go this way. We've
Yeah.
made it into the worst teams, so we are playing at the first game that we play is a team that we've already beaten once this year, and then if we win and if the higher seed wins the other game, then we'll be playing the team that we just got done playing that we were down 17-2, but then won from that point on. So if we just play them the way we know how to play them, We have a shot at this playoff since we finally made it down into the lower bracket. We're ready.
That's really cool. Real quick, am I still in picture?
Uh, it's like blurry,
Oh,
but I
that's
thought it was just my
weird.
computer
That's
being
stupid.
shitty.
It could be. I just try to minimize it real quick so I'm not like all covering the screen while I try to pull up stuff.
Not true. I mean, it's been kind of blurry the whole time though, and I was
Oh
like, it's
man.
not gonna. I don't think it's gonna show up blurry though on YouTube.
All
Usually
right,
it
guys.
doesn't.
Mine looks pretty. But yeah, no, that is really cool because you're definitely gonna be able to use some R&R and
Yeah, big time.
to not have to look forward to being the lowest seed of the higher field is really really cool for you guys because if you're a new listener, you go to the playoffs in this league no matter what uh the record is pretty much is that a certain now we know that for a fact?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Every team's
So,
guaranteed the
yeah.
playoffs.
But for some reason they've thought that they were one of the better or one of the worst better teams out there where now they are one of the better worst teams and the it's in your favor. So now with this, do you like have to win is like to win the B bracket and then play the winner of the A bracket to be able to
No,
get the
it's just
championship or
no.
you're the
If you
champion of the B
win,
bracket?
you get your champion of the. It's D4, but
Uh
there's D1 through. So it's weird because there's D1 through D3 in the seasons, but then there's four tournaments. So the D4 tournament gets added for all the shitty people. So we finally got moved down into the D4 shitty people.
we're
So
here.
it's time to win. We'll
Bro, what do
see. I
you
mean, but
I mean, and I should be this time last year I was getting ready for my season. I should be ramping up, but my leg and my back has zero progress. Tomorrow I go to PT, uh physical therapy, not physical training or whatever. What was it?
personal
Um
training.
no.
Oh,
What was PT when I was training for the army?
oh yeah, I don't
I
know.
think it was physical training. I don't remember. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's far behind me. But but yeah, I do that tomorrow. Kind of excited, kind of nervous because a lot of people have been telling me that they will do things to you that you didn't know could be done, especially with your back. And as
hmm
long as it's been, like it'll feel good days from now, like when you start working into it, but at first, you're going to be in a little bit of pain.
Yeah, I got my PT starting right after the season. Well, if we win our tournament game, it's going to be in the middle of the season because our game is the 20th. Then my first PT appointment is the 21st. So we'll see. I might end up having to take next season off because the next season starts in a month. It starts in early May. So we'll see what they say. I'm supposed to be getting like an X-ray or an MRI or something and all that shit. So we'll see. Even if I have to take the year off, I'm gonna still try to go to every game and I'll just be like support for them or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm still gonna pay the dues if my shit stays like this, and in hopes that I'll be able to play. And I'm not sure right now if I'm going to hide it and or let it be known to the league that I am in fact legless and backless right now. Because I do want to get drafted, but I don't want to end up being like the last pick of the fucking draft. I don't give a fuck about
right.
like being Mr. Irrelevant. It's just I don't want to be on a team A that doesn't want me, B doesn't expect me to be able to play, or C is just fucking ass.
Yeah, but why
You
don't you
know?
get on one of those teams and then ramp up to where you're doing your thing, and then next year you'll be straight.
Because, bro, I'm not built for penile. I'm built to win. Like
Are you
just
though?
mentally.
Mentally, you might
Mentally, I
be.
can't. I can't.
Have you
It's
ever been on a
hard.
winning squad of anything though? Because I sure as hell haven't. Palaka didn't do shit.
I've never
But
won a league, but yeah, no, I think it was growing up through baseball. I feel like all of my teams, like growing up in I forget what we called it. Was it Babe Ruth?
yeah, I think
Babe
that's
Ruth
what one
League?
of them was. Yeah.
But we were always the best in our age bracket. Like we fucked up everybody. Like half of the all-stars for our age bracket were on our team.
Our travel ball squad
And
was
I
good
just
actually.
and I just always expected I guess uh, uh, success. Brooklyn and the other really tall fucking kid that was in Cone's grade.
Yeah.
And they were just really good at baseball. So I think my sixth grade year when I first moved to Palaco, we won that little districts thing of Babe Ruth. And yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like I should always win. And then first year being with Speedboat and getting fucked by the refs out of a championship, which we probably could have lost against the Warriors, but it would have been played much differently. It would have been I think it would have been a lot more aggressive and in the paint, which probably would have went our way. But anyways, so I don't know. That's just my mentality, man. And I guess that's just how it's always been set up for me. Like I haven't been on a 0-7 or like the Grizzlies. Like that's just my luck. I don't get drafted by the Grizzlies last year, who won the championship the year before and are coming out a repeat. Like I could have been drafted by them, and went 0 and fucking 7.
Yeah, but
Just
now you're like your mentality is also like that you're some fucking superstar and
No,
you
we
averaged
both
like
we
three
both know
points.
how humble I became last season when it comes to that shit. I
Yeah,
don't
me
think I'm a
too.
superstar, but at the end of the day, I feel like I can still contribute with my mental, with my IQ, with my head game. It. Like, I can just show up and be like, yo, I can give y'all 10 today. My legs being weird. I can play, but I don't want to not be able to give 100%. And I damn sure ain't going out there not being able to fucking backpedal without knowing what my fucking foot's going to do. Because sometimes it lands like this, sometimes it lands like this. It depends on what it wants to do.
Yeah, so last night we had a game. We had our last game of
So,
the season and I came out there ready to go, bro. We didn't have our starter, or I mean our captain, our big guy. I went and took over the captain's duties where you just like make sure that everybody's there or not there, basically, so the stat keeper knows what he's looking for. And then we go out there, first possession of the game, we stop them on defense because we never get the tip off. We go down, we're fucking passing it around really good. We shoot this three, miss it, but the ball bounces right to like me. I run to the elbow, I grab it and just put it right back up, swish it. I was like, all right, we're ready. The next possession down, I take like a 30-foot heat check Steph Curry three and airball the fuck out of it. It was like a foot short of the rim. So it was,
my
but from that
baby.
point on, we just did the same shit we always do. We were up 11-5 early on, and then we had this 8-minute stretch of just straight ass basketball. And at the end of it, we were down 20, no, 18-12. So they had pulled it all the way back and then took the lead, and then we just battled right at that same pace with them pretty much the rest of the game. So we just have those stretches that we just can't get it done, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, no, it seems like y'all are able to kind of keep it on defense. I
Oh
mean, for
yeah.
8 minutes for them to only be able to get 13 points too. Like that says a lot.
The defense is
Um,
our strength, definitely, but we
yeah.
just can't hit shots.
But eventually, if you're not the only one that's going out to the court and practicing, that room's going to open up eventually.
Yeah.
That's what you tell me. It's the missed shots. It's the shooting 28, 35 from the field every single fucking game. And it's because of those spurts where you don't make a basket. You go 0 of 10, 0 of 15, looking like San Diego State in the
Yep.
finals out there and their second half stretch to obliterate themselves pretty much. But yeah, so and that's just unfortunately for you guys, it's not something that you can fix, right? You can't
Right.
really go into the you can go into the lab and fix this. Like it seems like you're doing everything right. It's just ball and hoop is the next thing, which
Yeah,
isn't the
it's
worst thing, but
time.
also it's a very frustrating thing at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, y'all are on the up and ups. I'm excited for you. And I wish you were in like fucking like back in like if it was like Oviedo and Winter Haven. Like that would
yeah.
I'll travel 40 minutes every fucking Tuesday to make sure we're out there balling on these kids.
It's
Which when I
just
say shit like that, that makes me act like I'm gonna put up 15 a game for y'all and me and Carlos are gonna go out there looking like the two-headed monster and shit.
high school us would have straight dominated, but like it's so crazy because I didn't truly understand because I'm an idiot, honestly, but the amount of grind I was gonna have to have, and so to only be able to go get shots up, like, I would say a total of, like, 3 hours a week, not counting game time, so a few, like, hours in the morning here and there, and then just when I can on the weekend, and then knowing, like, the rest of my team, they'll be like, "Oh, we get shots up, like, once a week," and some of them don't get shots up at all except the game, so, like, I miscalculated like the improvement pace. I thought it was gonna be a lot more quick. So and then when my knee started fucking up, it really put a damper in that too. Um but it's just time. And now that we've had the same team 2 years in a row or 2 seasons in a row, if that continues, we're gonna just continue. You can tell, man. Like every game we look better. This game we lost by 4 without our guy that drops like 24 points a game for us. So it's like we would have absolutely destroyed this team. So that's a good feeling. We have never destroyed any team ever, not even close. So it's cool to see the improvement more than anything. So I'm hoping this playoff run gives us confidence because I'm expecting to not lose the first game, and anytime you can win in the playoffs, you get some confidence. We don't have that, but eventually that's going to come, and then we'll just continue build on it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's dope. I can't wait. I can't wait forever whenever that improvement sets in and you're starting to hit me up every week like fucking 58-39. God.
Hey, when those both shots that I hit, man, it felt so fucking good. All my shots felt good. Some of them just, well, that one from like 30 foot didn't. It felt fine, but it was stupid. But yeah, all my shots are feeling good now. It's just getting them up. But you know me, like I'm not like I shot 6 times last night, and that's like a lot for me. That's not my normal play style. That's not how I do. I just knew without Carlos I was gonna have to shoot more, and more is still only 6 shots, but um if I hit 4 for 6, I'm double digits. So that's kind of where I'm hoping to be. Just get that efficiency up. Hit if I can get 12 to 15 every night. I'm not trying to be Kobe out there. If I can get 12 to 15, we'll win a lot more games. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going for, and I'm excited. It's great. But let's move on to the real world of sports that the rest of you guys care about. I know our one listener cares about us, so it doesn't matter that
There
we
you
start
go,
with us.
Joe.
We got you, Joe. You didn't have to wait the whole hour to hear about our league.
You'll
But let's
finally get to see him. I'm excited for that.
oh yeah, that's cool. So let's start with the final four. We made our picks. I was right, you were wrong, but that's okay. A lot of people say that the
If
refs were wrong.
if I had to die, I said if I had to die
That's
or
true.
pick a team,
We
I
both
said
said
UConn.
UConn. One of my 25 brackets had UConn, so that was good. Um,
How
so real
about
quick,
how about the
what's that?
winner only having like 150 points? Like the overall bracket winner? That's
Mm.
crazy. I usually get like 150
Yeah,
like in that
I
shit.
checked last year, and my best bracket last year had, I think, 9 more correct picks than my best bracket this year. And last year I was in the 92nd percentile. This year I was in the 98th percentile with 9 less correct picks.
Yeah,
It was
it's
crazy.
insane. It's insane.
But one
But
of my brackets did have UConn, so I am in the drawing for $10,000 or whatever it is. So that's exciting. I hope I win it. That'd be fucking dope. Um, but anyways, let's go to the games. First off, we're gonna try to talk a little bit about all the games, but it's so long past that it's gonna be kind of hard to recap everything. But first off, UConn, we're gonna skip to this one because this one was a blowout and it doesn't matter. UConn beating Miami. Um, Miami did what they always do and made the score look respectable at certain times, but from jump, that was game over, right? I mean, you weren't concerned. I know I wasn't concerned about UConn ever blowing that game.
yeah, no, I kind of felt bad too. Not really at the end of the day because fuck Miami. But I showed up to baby girl's work after I left my job, which I do every time. And it was right after the FAU game, right after the crazy buzzer beater. And so you have everybody talking about that. There's no real FAU fans, right? Like there's people who went there and that's
Right.
it. Like there's no FAU fans. And
Right.
so people were just talking about how crazy it was, how they should have won, how they definitely would have had a better chance against UConn than San Diego State. And then you have the like 10, 15 Miami fans who are getting pissed off and butthurt about everybody talking about how they would have had a better chance against UConn, already signed, still delivered. Well, then you have this motherfucker Sonogo or however you say his last name, that made no threes in his whole career and made like what, five this
Yeah, I
season,
think so.
and then came out with back-to-back threes at the top, and not one time did they think to press them. And I was like, all right, Miami actually thinks that they can just beat them on offense. This is going to be a fucking rout. And UConn did what UConn does and comes out fucking punching you, throwing haymakers.
Yeah.
And there's just no way to come back from that. San Diego State saw that. Miami saw that. You can crawl and scratch, but that's literally them just catching their breath.
Yeah.
That's them just kind of maintaining and bringing it back in and getting ready for that next round of haymakers. Like whenever back in the day, whenever you fucking just start smacking buttons and blowing your load in Mortal Kombat, you have to wait for that stamina bar to get back
Yeah.
up there to blow your load some more. And that's UConn basketball this season. And yeah, man, that Miami team, they are athletic as fuck. They are freakish as hell. But like UConn showed a lot of the beginning of the season, and that whole fucking tournament is they're the best team in the country,
Yeah.
or at least in that tournament with any team that they faced.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason that I had UConn as one of my picks, it's not because I'm some genius. I made 25 brackets, but they were 14-0 at one point. You know that they were beating the likes of, I don't know who they played this year, but it was those blue blood level people, and they showed that they could do
They're
it.
in the
They
Big East, right? Is the Big
yeah,
East
so
still a thing in basketball?
yeah, I mean they have Creighton, they have a
But
few good
UConn's still a Big
teams.
East team, right?
Yeah, UConn's still there. So they were beating good people. It's not like it's some surprise. Now FAU is a surprise. San Diego State is somewhat a surprise. I mean, they're always the winner of the Mountain West or whatever, so they are always there. Their name recognition is not a surprise anymore, but the fact that they did well is. But UConn's not a surprise. They're not going to be a surprise. They got their fourth national championship, right? Or is it five now? I don't know.
Five.
But so they're ready to go. They're good to go. But Miami, man, they put up a valiant effort. They did what they were gonna do. We said it before the pod. They are gonna play Miami ball, and if it wins them the game, great. If it loses them the game, well, we'll try again next time. But eventually, you run out of chances, right? And that's what happened with them. You're gonna have to play defense. You're gonna have to do these things. And how does a team? I guess this is across the board. How does a team that's known for these specific things get something that can really help them get above the hump? Because at a more national level, Houston, like Houston's so good at defense, but eventually you're gonna have to play offense and win. How do you go recruit these players that you are gonna need when the only players that want to come to Houston are defense players? The only players that want to come to Miami are athletic offensive guys. What does a coach have to do now to try to fix this team, I guess, if you will?
I mean, and it's cliche to say that it's a lot easier nowadays because of the NIL,
Mm,
but that's really what makes this tournament great now. And a lot of analysts, a lot of old school people talk shit about it because you don't have those dominant teams, those dynamic teams. And that's why UConn was able to do it as a four seed because they were the only actual dominant team. So you're saying there's still dominant teams in this NIL time, and UConn is a team that doesn't have a fucking kid who's making $2, $3 million
right.
just to fucking go to school. And so it's able to happen, and I think that's on the coaches. That's not on now. It's not on just the kids who want to come to Miami. You don't have to just get the kids that want to come to Miami. You can get all these kids who just want to play, and now the door's open because those two or three scholarships you saved for those kids, you can be the private school in Miami that says, listen, you're already getting a $280,000 check and just going to school here. Plus, to live in our private dorms with our
Right.
fucking private chef caterings or whatever the fuck Miami University does. It's a yuppie school, okay? All right. I
Coral
fucking
Gables,
can't.
baby.
Yeah, I can't. It's a yuppie school, so they're probably getting taken the fuck care of. So they're already getting pretty much free $350 ride, $100,000 ride. Yeah, and oh, but that's in 4 years. Most of these basketball kids last a year. And I mean, unless you go to San Diego State and you stay for 10
Right.
years, and the average fucking age is 26 years old, which is insane. But yeah, so it can happen. It's just on the coach to go out there and get it done and find the scouts that'll go out and find maybe three or four of that prototype person that you need. And it's got to be easier, right? Nowadays, instead of having to fight for all the guys, you can go out there and find the bigger crumbs of the bunch. And that's every school, and it's Miami, it's ACC. If
Yeah, but
Creighton
the
can
thing
do it,
is,
if
though,
FAU
like,
can do it, you know.
I almost feel like it would be easier without the G League thing because um, the fact of the matter is there's less good players going to college basketball, and those less good players aren't going to want to go to Miami. They're going to want to go to Duke. They're going to want to go to UNC. The only way to pull it away, in my opinion, is if you have that John Calipari Kentucky, and you're sitting here and you can go to Devin Booker and say, "Listen, you're going to have to come off the bench if you go to Kentucky," or you could come to Miami, still get the NIL deal, and do your thing. Whereas now there's only two good guys at Kentucky, so Booker would be like, "Oh, well, I'll just be another good guy at Kentucky." I just think it's going to be a little harder, but in the same vein, those people are going to the G League, so Miami doesn't have to be as good as they would have had to be 2, 3 years ago. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's just hard because if I was a kid growing up and like I was really good at defense. Like I was Gary Payton Jr. or whatever, right? I'm not thinking Miami. That's not even on my board unless I grew up in Miami. I'm gonna go to either one of my local schools, one of the big schools, or a defensive school. And that's the only ones I'd even route to. Miami wouldn't be on the list, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be hard.
I mean, and that's where coaching and all that stuff comes in too. Like a lot of these kids, they don't talk about why'd you choose this? Oh, coach said this, or
Right.
son, a booster guy said this. It's always, oh, on the visit I got sold. Like it's always something about the visit, about the campus, about this, about that. Like you can always sell some them on the visit. That's how they are. I mean, whatever it is, that's what these kids have always said.
True.
It's
And
always
especially in
when I
Miami,
I
like
saw
that's
the
the place to be.
campus, on the visit. Like just it's always something. So I feel like it could still get done. To what was it, 2020, 2021? I think it was 2020, the clip that's been circulating from the UConn head coach Dan Hurl or whatever is
Dan
however
Hurley.
Hurley, however you say it, yeah. In 2020, he's like, get us while you can now, because
Yeah.
we're gonna be good. And so like like if you can recruit, if you can get the guys that you need, you just know. And 2 years ago, whenever they got fucking routed by Villanova, and that's why he said that, because they're all asking, "What do you need? What do you need?" We just need you to eat us while you can, because we're about to
Just
start
time.
fucking eating
Yeah.
everybody else. And so I mean, that's what you need to do. Get a good coach, and Miami does. They have a hell of a fucking
Yeah,
coach.
they do.
They have a guy that went to George Mason was cutting down nets. So
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think that's part of why Miami got good anyway. Because,
Final
like you
Four
said,
nets.
people want to, yeah, the regional Nets. People want to go where there's name recognition. And even though Jim Larinaga didn't have like huge name recognition, he had a piece of a net that he could show kids when they come and say, "Listen, I did this with George Mason. I did this with a team that if they wouldn't have run into the buzzsaw that is the Florida Gators, might have been able to cut down the nets themselves." Just kidding, they wouldn't have. Well, maybe because UCLA sucked, but
Hey, you put some fucking respect on Jordan Farmar's name, okay?
but
Was
anyways,
that the
he
Kevin Love,
has
Russell Westbrook UCLA?
no.
Okay.
That was later.
Oh yeah, I think we've
I
already said
feel
that
like they
before.
even still had dude with the fucking dreads that they had this year. I don't know how he's been at this their college for 10 years, but
Right? Doesn't that seem like the kid that was on the meme that lifted
Yeah.
the kid's neck up?
Yep. Yeah,
And he's on
so
the Kings now, right? Somehow. I
yeah.
think he's on the Kings.
So let's move now. So UConn, good job. Hey, shout out to Miami. You did your thing.
Hey,
Hopefully you're gonna be
hey. Hey,
better.
how about them for being classy though? They didn't do any dumb shit.
Yeah, that's true. So now let's move to the other side. That was the actual, it was really the game of the Final Four. It was better than the championship. We knew it was going to be. But FAU and San Diego State, it was exactly what we expected, man. It was FAU are them dogs. They do their thing. San Diego State looks like a team that doesn't know how to play basketball and then just grinds for the entire fucking game and eventually learns how to play basketball throughout the course of the game and they finish strong and they win. That's what both teams have been doing all year. So it was a super exciting game. But I was watching on mute, so I know all the stories about all the refs, late whistles and stuff. I didn't hear any whistles. And when I saw them go to the free throw line, it seemed like a fair call to me. So I don't know, but um, it was a good game and a great finish. And just before we talk about the actual game, was what a ballsy. I don't have the guy's name, but what a ballsy move by that guy to
Started with a B.
say I'm gonna hold on to the fucking ball, and then what a veteran amazing call by the coach to say, I don't need to call a timeout. I know who has the ball in his hands, and I know that he's capable of doing stuff. Because when dude came down with the ball, I thought they were going to call a timeout, so I wasn't really paying attention. And then when they crossed the half court, and I noticed, oh shit, a timeout's not called. I need to pay attention. I look up, and he was like headed to the baseline, and I was like, oh, bro's about to get trapped on the baseline. Like he's not ready for this. And then he did this little like spin thing and then fadeaway jumper. And I was like, oh shit, big balls by that guy. So shout out to him for that. But yeah, what did you think of the game?
I'm trying to find his
Find his name.
name. Lamont Butler.
Hmm.
Lamont Butler.
He wasn't giving anybody else the ball. So good props to him. He knew what he was about.
Yeah, and I also think like at the end of the day that they gave um FAU an outlet at the end of that by calling a sticky tech foul for them too at the
Hmm.
end of it. But yeah, we can both say, I mean, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I feel like the refs, and we've always talked about how, especially the NCAA men's side, a lot, the women's this year, now that it actually got fucking, the refs are trying to show themselves off. But it's not like in the regular season the refs are showing themselves off. It's just a more like featherweight type thing, a
Yeah.
more instant thing. Like it's not in the NBA where you kind of have to both have possession of the ball to have a jump ball. No, you just have to have
Yeah.
have possession of the ball. And any type of this that somebody else is holding the ball, if you're doing any of this for half a second, that's so that there. And then just these judgment calls. You don't have the angle. You can just see that a dude swip whatever it is. You know,
Yeah.
swiped for the
Swiped.
ball, um, and got called air, and they're like just whistle friendly, and it was crazy. So you can say that in pretty much any game,
Right.
and like a lot of people that are talking about it are just we're hoping that FAU because I feel like everybody would say that FAU probably could have put up a better fight because the way they're set up, they're not going to go on an 8-9 minute drought. San Diego State had 4 different 4 minute droughts. 4, 8, 12, 16 minutes in a 40-minute game where they didn't score anything, and that's at least a 4 minute drought. So
Right.
who knows? It probably was over half the fucking game of droughts that they weren't able to score, and one of them being what was it, 8.5 minutes of not knocking down a field goal. They were getting free throws, but not knocking
Yeah.
down a field goal. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. And FAU wouldn't have done that, I feel like. And also that Golden kid who would have been
Yeah.
guarding
No, he would have been guarding
Sonoga,
that other dude probably. That
the tall white guy.
the tall white guy.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
crushed San Diego State,
Yeah, he
dude.
did.
It was
Yeah, he
ridiculous.
did. But I just feel like it probably would have been a little bit better of a matchup, and all of those fucking guards and forwards for FAU would have had a way better day than anybody on the court for San Diego State shooting the ball. I think they shot for like, what was the total? Let's look at that. I
It
don't know
was
if it's going to
definitely not
show it
good.
as nice as it was for the, yeah, well, here we go. Oh, no, that's the, all right. Do, 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 do. Stats. Let's go down. 26% from three, 32% from the field.
Hmm.
FAU is not doing that at the end of it, and UConn probably still would have won by double digits. I mean, they're just so dynamic. So, am I happy with the end result? Yeah. I mean, I don't care who it was. Gators weren't in the tournament this year,
Right.
and so it is what it is. But yeah, I can appreciate it. It was good basketball, and UConn showed out. Like, even though it wasn't like a close game, I mean, yeah, with what 4 minutes left, it got down to five,
Yeah, and they
but
brought
it
it back.
wasn't. Even then, they were trying to get their load back.
Right.
So like it wasn't close at all. So I was happy with it. It was fun.
It was
Um,
good. It was
all
fun to
around,
watch.
the women's was fun to watch for the most part. And
I watched the entire Iowa South Carolina game and then the entire Iowa
same.
LSU game. And the Iowa LSU game, much like the men's, the final four games were better than the championship game. LSU was just a fucking better team. They were better
Yeah,
coached. They're a better team. I mean, that's the way it always is, right? Like that's what makes March Madness so fun is that you can get a singular player that can carry a team way further than they deserve to. That doesn't happen in the NBA. Like Iowa, honestly, I don't know why Iowa was a number two seed apart from Caitlin Clark. Like I watched them, like I said, play South Carolina. And if
but
Caitlin Clark didn't touch the ball, that was the ugliest possession. Like, no offense, it's not because they're women, it's none of that shit, but like they were not a number two team. Like if she's
no,
off the
see,
floor,
you
it's not
watched
even
the South
close.
Carolina game though, right? Like
Yeah.
those girls were doing their thing. Like offensively, that one, I don't know if she's a center or what, but she looked she looked like Grug from a Despicable Me, like
Yeah.
his sister.
Yeah.
Um, but she was doing work against South Carolina, and then LSU, like even on the defensive end, they all just seemed like not ready for the moment, like scared as shit. Even Kayla, I mean, Caitlin came out
Yeah.
hot, but on the defensive end, nobody wanted to match up. Like
I don't think they
it
could
was
match up.
crazy.
That girl with the yellow braids, she could not be stopped, dude.
Yeah. And
And
then what's her name,
like
Vanessa or whatever?
yeah, something like that. I don't know their names, but
That
she
kid's a
was killing it.
sophomore.
This girl
She's a
that averaged
sophomore.
like 7 points a game or something scored like
Yeah.
29 like points and just
Yeah.
did work. It was just it was great though. It was fun to watch, man. It was weird because I grew up not caring about women's basketball. I wanted to be a basketball player, and so I always assumed that I was better than women until Diana Taurasi. Like, I mean, I know there were people before her that were great. Obviously, Candace Parker, all those. I didn't watch college or women's basketball back then. When Diana Taurasi led
Lisa Leslie's
UConn,
gonna dunk on you.
she would have for sure. All these people could fucking school me. But DT got me into the game. And then when she graduated, women's basketball kind of went not down the tubes, but it was always just UConn, Stanford, South Carolina, Tennessee. And I was like, all right, this is boring. Like I used to
Yeah.
make the bracket and I'd just put all four one seeds in the final four and have like a perfect bracket most years. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is boring. But now the same way. I mean, these girls are coming up wanting to be good now. It's not just like,
Yeah.
oh, I could play basketball and not have to like pay for college. Let's do it. Now they grow up wanting to play college basketball. So
This was the
it's just
first
getting more and
year.
more
Sorry.
exciting.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
go
the
for it.
first year I actually watched it because of Caitlin Clark.
Mhm.
Last time was Candace Parker, and then I tried to get into it, but it just wasn't, it just wasn't fun to watch. And Caitlin is a beast. She's fun to watch,
Yeah, she is.
and now we all know that LSU now for 2 more years has a ball. If she can, I understand, having your swag and all that stuff, but do that when it's close, bro. That's why I can still respect Devin Booker. He doesn't always wait until the end of games. He'll
Mm.
start talking to you in the third quarter and have to eat his fucking cake at the end of the game, even when it is to bomb ass Jamison Crowder. But like, and don't do that shit at the end of the game. Start doing all this. Oh, look at my ring. Where are you? Come, let me find you.
Well,
Look at
Klay
my
Thompson
ring.
does
Like,
it when he's sitting on the fucking bench and they're up
but he'll,
20.
but he also does it whenever people are chirping because they're down 30. Like,
Yeah.
he'll also remind them that he has 4 rings. Like, I'm down with that shit. Maybe this girl next year is going to remind them that she has a ring if
I'm
LSU only
down with
wins
all of it.
fucking
I don't
10
give a fuck.
games.
And
But I just would like, she was kind of doing it a little earlier, but you wait till you have a cushion. That shit's for the birds for me. Do that shit. That's why I can appreciate myself. I'm doing that.
I do it all
Down
the
down
time.
30 up, down 30 up 30. I don't give a
We don't
fuck.
even win. I do it. I do it every game.
I love it.
But
But that
when
shit, that
I
shit. And I don't appreciate everybody getting all pissed off about it. Like, at the end of the day, it's sports. Like, it's in between the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
lines.
you
Like, it
definitely
did
don't need to get
nobody on the
like
court's bitching.
the way the media brought that thing to attention was just foolish, man. It's just so
Yeah.
stupid. Like they act like they don't see that shit every day. Like, is it not the same reporters that report on men's basketball? Because we literally see trash talk
Yeah.
every single night. Do they not see that
I
shit?
promise you that chick
Yeah.
ain't doing that. No females LA Fitness gym run.
Dude, no, so it's funny whenever I shot that like Steph Curry heat check, I missed everything, but it clipped the bottom of the net. And I was like, yeah, nothing but net, bitches. And the ref starts laughing. And I was like, yeah, now they're gonna think I'm a shooter, baby. They better guard me. And he like couldn't even call the play anymore. He was just like, what is this guy? That's how I gotta get in my game, dude. If I think too much, I get too much in my head and I'm fucked up. So I just have to say shit. But at the start of the second half, I like sprinted to the sideline to inbound the ball. And I was like, coach, do or not coach, like ref, hit us with the play that the Warriors just had on the Mavericks where they're on the wrong side of the court. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And he was like, what are you talking about? It was so I just like sprinted out there. I was like, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. I want to get it while they're still on the wrong side, like the Warriors did to the Mavericks. And he's like, you're stupid, bro.
And he waited for them to get in position.
Yeah, yeah.
What an asshole.
I know, right? I was like, they do it in the NBA. Why can't I do it here? But no, it was a fun tournament. Do you think? I guess the question that I've seen rattling through the media, it do you? We've said that we like the parody, but do you like the Cinderella story to go as far as it did, or should the Dukes, UNC's, Kentucky's, Florida, just because we're fans, should they be the
Ew.
ones that are making these Final Fours?
Not
Like, which
always
one's more exciting?
this, for sure. But that's if these finals are just as good as the whole thing, you know. Like,
Mm,
at the end of it, like looking at that one shining moment, we're like, damn, why couldn't we have this game? Fuck, why couldn't we have that game? Like, just all these crazy games and endings and thrills that we didn't have in these final games. But I'm all here for it. As long as the team at the end is a team that should be there,
mm,
I'm down with. Now, if we get a fucking team that got forfeited in, or somebody gets like the flu or sickness and the whole team, and all this stuff happens, and then something happens in a technicality to where they end up winning another, and like this stupid shit happens, like, oh, they won 2 games, they're the champions. Like, wait, what? Or where like we've seen too, where the best team will have their best player get injured in fucking
yeah,
January and be out the whole time and be like, we all know, like the Gators, unfortunately, not even being biased. If Keontae doesn't pass out, the Gators have a great fucking chance on going on a tear in the SEC tournament that whole fucking season,
right.
all the way into the fucking tournament and probably getting a fucking chip. But it didn't happen. He fainted. Thankfully, he's able to play what he plays basketball and do what he loves again. But like as long as we get these good games, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if San Diego State would have won the whole thing, I think I would have felt a little bit just like gross about it. I don't know. I mean, I love the Cinderella story as much as anybody, but the 4 seed UConn's about like I guess when the 7 seeded UConn won, I was excited about it. But I just don't want it like all the time, every single time. The
Yeah.
powerhouses are supposed to be the powerhouses, and when you get a final that's North Carolina versus Villanova, and there's a buzzer beater like you were talking about, uh, shot at the end for Villanova to win the like that's fucking cool. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Um,
You
so
also going back to last year's finals that had two blue bloods in Kansas and North Carolina. You thought for the pod, I saw the post on Facebook today or yesterday, thought Kansas was going to win by at least 20 against another blue blood at NC. Uh,
well,
and
they did win.
the game was not as boring, but still pretty fucking boring.
Yeah,
And that's what blue blood. So, you never
yeah,
know, really, at the end of the day. But yeah, I think the relevance of always having a Kansas and like some people like especially a lot of the OGs, all the not even OGs, old whites will say that who grew up watching it and growing up and playing basketball and all that stuff that are used to these blue bloods and a lot more Eastern and known colleges. Once they see that a Creighton's going up against San Diego State, they're like, "Man, what the fuck is this? I'm going to bed. I'm not watching this 8 o'clock game." And a lot of people lose interest. But I haven't seen the numbers. I'm sure the numbers were great for the tournament and whole. Jim Nance
probably.
last ride. Congrats on being his friend, by the way. That's pretty
Hey,
fucking cool, right? I didn't know I was Jim Nance's friend. That's really cool. That's cool of
we're
us.
all his
We're
friends.
all his friends. That's awesome. But so like I think and I think it's right for the way the world's going, the way the majority viewer is and the demographic and the age brackets of which they're trying to captivate. Yeah, I like it. And if we were growing up now, holy shit, we'd be watching these games with drool and boners because
Mm,
we love underdogs.
yeah.
And we
And
didn't
we
know
think that
we
we
were
could do it. Like, I
yeah,
think I could play it.
that's
Well,
what I'm
not
saying.
now,
Like
but
we
I
didn't
think I
know
could
any
play at
better.
FAU. Like
Yeah.
when we're seeing Duke hold trophy after trophy after trophy, I was like, I'm not good enough for Duke. I can't play at Duke. But if I saw FAU do something, if I saw George Mason do something, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I was somewhat good back then, but it's like, oh, I could play for that team. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Exactly.
So that's cool.
So I mean, I like it. I think it's going to be good for the sport in whole. And this is where they make their money more so than ever now that unofficially they're having to pay these kids through
Yeah.
boosters and boosters companies and whatever fucking Boston Mafia type way these fucking colleges are doing shit nowadays. So, I mean, this is where they make their money. So, if these schools can get relevance, like they got to get some kind of bonus, right? These schools.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you get a bonus for making it each round. You
Isn't
get a
that
little bit
dope as
more.
shit? Like, I mean, Princeton, we all know Princeton's boosters are fucking, all
Yeah,
of them
they're
are in the
already
top
money.
1%, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool as shit. I mean, we don't know all these New Jersey fucks that have been making it the last like 5, 6 years, but then the most recent one in FAU out of these New Jersey fucks, you got to think that this check is going to help them out a lot.
Yeah.
And did you see their gym? It's like all wood. It's like some shit Pinot did. I think the funniest one we ever went to, it was like not carpet, but it was definitely like some lay down puzzle piece bullshit. And this was like all wood. Somebody sanded the court and glazed it and then decided to keep going with the bleachers and then the round and let's fucking put a little 2-story Abraham Lincoln John Booth up here. That shit's crazy.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, UConn. You did it. You got another one.
I
So
done did it.
good job. So let's talk a little bit about the NBA before we get out of here. I said that we would know more about the seeds. We really don't. We know a little bit more. We kind of know. So we know every East team that's in. We just don't know the exact positioning.
We know
Um,
four or
and we
five, baby.
and we know pretty much the entire Western Conference except for one matchup. Sorry, Utah, but I'm not considering you. So let's first talk about. I think Utah's trying to lose, so it's really not. No offense to them, they've lost 3 straight. They're trying to tank. They said we don't actually want the playoffs. Um, so the West. Let's talk about the last team. It really comes down to Dallas and Oklahoma City. And after tonight, with 2 more games to go, they are tied. And I don't know why NBA is showing it this way. NBA.com is showing Oklahoma City at 10 and Dallas at 11. But when I did all of
That's
my
my shit.
tiebreaker maths, Dallas won them. So I don't know if it's just that the last 2 games have to be played. But if the last 2 games are played with division matchups and whatnot, and they're tied, I believe
Well,
Dallas moves on.
so
But
all of my headlines that I've seen
uh-huh.
after tonight's victory, like on ESPN and everything, Bleacher Report, all these notifications are saying that they still have a shot at the playoffs. It doesn't say anything about them moving into the 10th spot.
Well, again, my math is literally just looking at the record and then scrolling down to the tiebreaker where it says the tiebreaker. Oh, head to head. I didn't. The
Well,
fucking first tiebreaker. I was so busy looking into the LA versus LA tiebreaker that I forgot. So maybe head to head Oklahoma City beat them. I don't know.
mm,
But when I looked at the conference record, Dallas won. Division record right now, I think Dallas is ahead, but they're in different divisions, so I don't think that matters. Um, so I don't know. Now I'm looking at that. So they lost to OKC there. They beat OKC,
the 10 are pretty much officially wrapped up for the
and then they
East,
lost.
right?
They're
There's no
official. It's
way.
just not
Yeah,
the positioning yet. Oh, so it is head
that's
to head then that they looks like they got them because they only played 3 times. So yeah, so OKC has the tiebreaker with head to head.
yeah.
So in my prep, I was wrong, but that's all good. I'm wrong a lot. All right. So
So what's going
anyways,
to change? Oh, so the top five in the East are
the
locked.
top 5 are locked. Miami could pass Brooklyn,
Yeah,
and then Toronto could pass Atlanta for that not having to win two
the
games in a row
Whitecaps.
spot. Um, but the Bulls, I think, are locked into 10. Miami is locked into 7 or above. So it's like the Hawks and the Raptors are doing their thing. But um, going back to the last team in, do you think it's going to be Dallas or Oklahoma City when all this shakes out and is done? Dallas has, I think, San Antonio left and somebody else that's pretty easy. And Oklahoma City has Minnesota, I believe, and then Memphis, who should have locked up the 2 tonight. So I don't know. They might not need to play Ja. They didn't play Ja tonight either, so whatever. But
Yeah, I know. Congrats to you, by the way, on the fucking NBA fantasy
no,
championship,
so
since
I'm
my
gonna
two
try
people
to
don't want to fucking
I
play.
really I'm trying my fucking hardest to style on your ass.
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna
cute.
build the biggest fucking lead and sit everybody on Sunday and see if you can score
Oh,
enough
you're
to
cute.
beat me. I'm
You're
gonna give you a
cute.
fucking chance, dog. I'm gonna
Yeah,
bench everybody on Sunday.
you're cute.
Right now I'm up like 400, right? So that's like you scored 407 one night. So that could be like you better set up Sunday to be fucking ready, bro. But
But not on paper wise, right? You got to think Dallas has the better
yeah,
chances, but OKC's been surprising people all season long. And who's to say not them? They're not a team who wants to tank. They're not a team who wants to be in the lottery.
right.
Uh, they want to win. They think they have a core that can get it done, and playoff experience is a lot for these kids. And hey, as we know, play-in games are playoff experience, baby.
Do those count as playoff stats? I still don't know yet.
I don't know,
Or is it a separate stat thing that says like play in stats and then playoff is after that? I don't I don't know. But no, you got to think that Dallas is going to want it more in my opinion. I would assume, but I would have assumed that for the last like 10 games too. Um because Oklahoma City, while they want the reps, I get that. they probably don't believe that they can win 2 road games, especially with one of them being in LA, most likely. Unless Golden State completely drops off. One of the 2 LA teams should be the 7 seed. Although I guess if they win the first game, it's not. But anyways, 2 road games. They're gonna have a hard time winning 2 road games. And they have fucking Chet on the back burner, dude. It's not like they're saying this is our best shot. You know, they're gonna get even better. They're playing Pokasevsky or whatever the hell that guy's name is as their starting center. Like it's gonna get better. Dallas needs to win right now, and they need to win big. So they're definitely, in my opinion, gonna make it. Now I don't know that they'll make it into the actual playoffs, but they should make it to the play in, I would think, because they want to avoid all that hassle.
I agree,
All right,
but
so
I
I
agree.
mean, we don't know the play-ins, do we? It's hard to
Not
talk
really.
basketball when you don't know shit, but because we don't know if it's going to be Chicago at Toronto or Chicago at Atlanta. But shout out to Atlanta. They are now 2 games above 500. So they broke the curse. They broke the streak that they have been going on for what 30 games or however long it's been. Um, so they're able to do that. But what's going into the last few, I think it's 2 games for pretty much everybody. There's a couple teams with 3 games left. What's your last little storyline that you're looking at before the playoffs start that we get to talk about next week when the playoffs?
I'm just excited about the Cavs finally being in it.
Mm.
I'm hyped up for that.
Did you see that
Uh,
Mitchell did work again, bro?
yeah,
He's
like four
ready.
straight games with 40 points.
He is
Yeah, no, I was
ready.
watching it. I was
I
watching
was
it, but
watching I was trying to watch the Dallas game, and the fucking league pass is the worst, dude. So then I moved it to ESPN just so I could watch on a different app that I didn't have to
uh,
try to watch on the stupid league
yeah, I
pass
mean,
thing.
there's really not too much that I'm like looking forward to or excited about up to the playoffs. It's just what the Cavs are going to be able to do against the Knicks. I think that's a good first round matchup for us to see what we're able to do. They um they have it all on paper, right? They have Jalen Brunson, they have a good like a role player in R.J. Barrett, and they have a guy and Julius Randle. And the thing with that is we have 2 guards that are absolutely amazing that can counter out Jalen Brunson, and we have 2 pretty much centers in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen that can counteract Julius Randle. So then it's pretty much our other guys against their other guys. And that's obviously been my worry this whole time. So we'll see. And Isaac Okoro's been out. Seti Osman's been able to step up. Karis LeVert's been stepping up like crazy. And just those like nitpick stats,
Mm.
like the extra oomph stats, the blocks, the tip passes, the assist, the hockey assist, and still averaging like I think 13, 14 games in the last 10 games. So yeah. And then also in the West, I'm excited for these young teams, like these young guys that are
Mhm.
finally starting to come together, and the Grizzlies and the Kings, and have high seeds, who are going to have fairly easy matchups, foreseeably in the West. One of these people are probably going to end up with a really good team. I mean, the Lakers found their way out of that, but they're probably gonna find their way into you. I don't know who's winning that game
No,
or
the
who won.
Clippers are pretty much schooling it right now. So,
Okay,
um, I mean, the Lakers could obviously still do it, but I think the
we all
Warriors
know how LeBron is.
or
He's doing his best to
but
not
the
get
Warriors
KD.
or Clippers, yeah, the Warriors or Clippers, I think would have to lose. Warriors and Clippers, sorry, would have to lose both of their last 2 games for the Lakers to do, and the Lakers would have to win. So I think the Dubs are going to lose to the Kings on Thursday or yeah Friday, whatever day they play, because it's a road game and the Kings are going to be coming off a loss and they're going to be ready to go, and then it's going to be up to us, and we're going to be playing against the Clippers. And I think if the Clippers beat us, we will be facing the Clippers. And if we beat the Clippers, we'll be facing the Warriors. So we'll get to take our pick of who we want our opponent to be. And you'll know by if we bench KD and Chris Paul or not who we wanted to be.
Do you think
against.
KD wants do you think and there's any part of him that's chirping off the record to the boys? Uh, let's go for Golden State.
Nah, KD ain't
I
about
got
that,
something to
dude.
prove.
KD shies away from that shit. He ain't trying to.
What's
That's just
everybody
not his
talking about me?
personality.
Me in Oakland. They're in San Francisco now, okay? Just leave me out of it.
I don't think that's his voice, but nah, he doesn't. He doesn't go for
I
like
don't know his
those
voice. I know
revenge
his
type
Twitter
things.
fingers.
He doesn't go for like those revenge type things. He just kind of just plays. He's never been that assertive, dude. It's just crazy.
Unless it's
Um,
Chuck. He's assertive as
unless
shit
it's the
with
Chuck.
Chuck.
Yeah. It's so funny that he could potentially win in Phoenix when Barkley couldn't. That would be the biggest dirt because Barkley would still like he'd have to accept it, right? Because he's
I
got to
didn't
accept that
even
Phoenix got a
think
ring.
about that.
So he would have to accept that Kevin Durant was the best player on a championship team
Wait,
because he's got to
do you think he would drive the bus for them for the champion for like the parade?
be.
He would
Yeah,
bring
he
a
would.
school bus
He actually would. Yeah, for sure,
and be
for
like,
sure.
"Hey, Katie, I'm driving the bus for you, Big Daddy. You got us a chip."
I'm sure they would work something out like that.
Oh, dude, TNT would push for it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All
They would
right,
definitely
so
have like the parade thing with in a school bus.
but before we get out, there was something that went under the radar, which I don't know if you know. I know you got a lot of Cleveland news. I don't even know how I stumbled upon this and saw this. But the new CBA
It's dope.
that got agreed to. One of the things is there's no more. It's like the Rose Rule. It's with the Supermax because if you guys aren't basketball heads, this is way over the top. But if you get an NBA award or you make an All NBA team or something, you're eligible for more of a supermax. Blah blah blah. Before this new CBA, you could only have two players under the Rose Rule that has this supermax extension eligibility. You guys, if Evan Mobley makes one of these all teams, he would be the third one because you have Garland and now you have Donovan Mitchell. So this CBA hooked you boys up to be able to
Yeah.
throw the supermax at Mobley as well, and that's got to be exciting as a Cleveland fan. You don't have to give him away.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It's dope. A lot of the things in this, bro, the all NBA being positionless, it's cool as shit, man. There's a lot of cool things. There was something else that was in it that I liked a lot, that I don't remember at this point in time. But yeah, the Supermax thing with it not just being two, and I think it's expanded to not even just three. I think you can have,
I think it's unlimited now. Yeah.
yeah, which is at the end of the day is probably gonna fuck a lot of these lower market teams. Like
Mm.
if uh if Laurie Markkinen's up to it for it, and he's the only one that they can pay, it's gonna be really hard to pay whoever the fuck they draft or one of these other guys who are starting to
Yeah.
snap for them, or even the Kings. They have Keegan Murray who's starting to go crazy, and they're about to throw super maxes at Spider and Sabonis probably to keep them around for years and years and years to come, which they obviously want to do and get in Dante. I think that's how you say his name. But yeah, so these teams who have never really spent a lot of money on a lot of players and even just one player, like that's why Peja's the guy because he didn't have to take a lot of
Yeah.
fucking money. And but yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And we all know that these teams, they're not all going to be able to pay the same amount of money as the Lakers ever, but
Right.
they're all going to be able to spend some money, right? They're all going to be able to get two or three viable players just with the way the market's going up and all the money that these teams are getting. Like it's insane to think about in the 90s how all of these NBA franchises were going for literally like 100, $200 million.
Right.
And now the next one that goes up for sale is probably going to be at least like 6, 7 billion. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
For sure. All right. Do you have any other storylines before we get out of here?
Not really. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. So we'll go out on soccer. We don't talk about soccer, but LAFC played tonight. They won 3-0, and the shout out goes to Denis Bouanga, who is putting together an MVP performance early on.
MVP.
It's super exciting. He's the man. He scored 2 more goals again tonight, which puts it at, I don't even know. I know it's a lot, but it's hard to know because it's different cups and different
He gonna
leagues and
break
all this
Vela?
shit. What's that?
He gonna break Vela?
Nah, maybe, like
What
he's
was it,
killing it.
23?
Um, he is, I don't know what the record is because it changed 3 times in 3 years. So everybody's getting better. And so maybe he will be, but it's just because the same reason like basketball records are being broken left and right now. It's going to be the scoring as a whole is going to get better. But I'm trying to get to the stats while shouting him out, and it's kind of difficult to do. Um, so he's on a tear. He has, see, now it doesn't even say how many freaking goals he has.
Stupid.
I hate stuff. Um,
Stuff
do,
stinks.
do, 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 do. See, it's hard because it says that Jordan Morris has 8 goals, which is true, but then he doesn't have any more. It says Bouanga only has 3, which is just wrong. So I guess it's because the hat trick. Yeah, the hat trick was against the Mexican team. Then he scored 2 against them as well. But anyways, he's playing like an MVP. He's doing his thing. I don't think 3 is correct because I don't think it counts tonight. So he's going to be at 5 at this point. Because I've seen all his goals and I was not at the game tonight. So clearly he's got more than that. But he's playing like a superstar. He's playing amazing. When we got rid of Chicho, so first we get rid of Rossi and somehow Chicho comes in and does his thing. Then we get rid of Chicho, and I'm like, oh, geez, like, what are we going to do? But Wanga's here, stepped in the way. And just a shout out to our front office. The the side with the fans sucks. They don't know how to handle fans, but they know how to handle players. They know how to bring in the right crew. They know what they're doing with that. And Bowanga is just the guy out there. He's taken over where the rest of our guys are falling short, and he's filling roles that's left and right. We're still undefeated. Um, we haven't dropped any points at home, and a lot of that is due to his scoring. So shout out to him. Be like Denny Bawanga and be a stud, not a scrub.